Welcome, masterminds, to the world stage. Here you pick schemes to send your loyal minions out on to bring back gold to fill your vaults or accomplish other nefarious purposes. Each region can support up to 4 missions, but you can only run one at a time, so which one will you choose? This decision is what separates the villains from the geniuses, so let's break them down. On your basic level 1 region, you're going to have 2 types of generic missions to bring in cash. One is kind of the get-rich-quick scheme, and the other is a more drawn-out scheme, but it brings back more gold per worker that you deploy. I find that the most success comes from running the longer-term missions, because early on in the game, especially, your true bottleneck is your workforce. You only gain 2 back every minute, and you have to pay $10,000 to hire a batch of 5 of these guys. So spending them on missions where you get back the most money per worker you deploy gives you the greatest return. But these missions are still very useful if you need cash in a pinch. On the flip side, the other generic missions you have are missions that will decrease heat in the region. When a region hits its maximum amount of heat, it will lock down, such as this region up here, and you are not able to deploy to any schemes in the area until its cooldown finishes. So, what can we do to decrease heat? Well, we have the option of spending money and time. Yes, it's 10 seconds, but I see that as basically no cost at all. So we can spend $10,000, or we can deploy 3 workers and spend 20 minutes for the heat to decrease. I see a clear advantage in one of these missions, and it is right here. This mission is way better than the other one, even though, yes, you are spending money, and this one says you are not spending money. Because you have to wait 20 minutes, there is an enormous opportunity cost to doing this mission, because that is 20 minutes where you are not running any money-making scheme in the region, whereas here, if you had spent the money, you would instantly be able to roll into another mission such as this one and make that money back, or over here and make the money back even more efficiently per worker. So that way, if you do this type of heat reduction mission, you are able to keep your regions always generating a little bit of cash flow. Now, things really start to open up when you upgrade your criminal networks to level 2. You get vastly superior missions for making money. So the money-making schemes still break down on the same lines of a get-rich-quick scheme and a more efficient but long-term money trickle. This scheme here falls along the side of Get Rich Quick. You are spending a large amount of minions, and these are now all specialized minion types. You are also spending a lot of intel, which is a new advanced currency, but over a short amount of time, you're going to make a lot of money. And here, note that the heat gain is 45. The generic mission that counteracts this is one such as this one up here, where you are making a ton more money for less personnel invested, but over an extremely long period of time. You also have to pay less intel, but notice here, importantly, it is actually the same amount of heat gain. So if we were to look at these and you assume that if you are running this style of scheme, you will be running it repeatedly pretty quickly to be able to make as much money total as the other type of scheme, you are going to accumulate heat much, much faster. So now it is important to look at what schemes there are to reduce heat. So over here, we have the one where we have to pay money, and now they've added you have to spend 20 intel, which is a lot of intel no matter how you cut it. You're going to have a very well planned out control room to be able to generate intel fast enough to support doing this mission a lot. Your alternative is sending 3 valets and spending 30 minutes to reduce the heat. And so this, again, is an enormous opportunity cost. Spending half an hour where this region is not going to be making you money is pretty damaging. So I, again, like to go with this mission to reduce heat, where you're spending money and intel, and then you are rolling up into this style of cash generation mission, where you're only spending a few minions and you're making a lot of money back, and you don't have to spend as much intel on this one. At this stage in the game, you're starting to fight more advanced agent types on your island, and so any casualties that you take to your workforce is pulling out of that workforce. So I want to spend as few minions as possible here on the world stage. But when you're making this kind of money, it's pretty easy to be able to buy batches of 5 minions back to keep your workforce high. Now there are 2 final wrinkles here as you start to explore more and more of the world, there are going to be some regions that offer very unique takes on different types of missions. So over here, this is a much better version of that the scientist mission here. Here you make total 120,000 over the course of an hour. And then over here, you do have to spend 6 scientists on this one in this region in Peru, but you make over twice as much money for doing so in the same amount of time. So just make sure that you're thumbing through your missions to see if a region is offering a variant that you have not seen before, because some of them are way better than others. Also, as you go later into the game, you are going to start seeing super agents pop up in different regions. The catch here is that if you run a scheme in a region that has the avatar of a super agent in it, then they have their own kind of heat bar, and watching you conduct these schemes is going to cause them to attack you. And they are very challenging to deal with. You want to deal with them as little as possible inside your base. Now, they have 2 types of missions that are assigned to them. You have one where you can goad them into attacking you immediately, and then once they have decided that they are going to attack you, there will be another mission that will pop up that will sabotage the team of agents that they want to bring with them to make that encounter a little bit easier when you have to fight them in the base. So you want to watch out for running schemes in regions that have the super agent avatars in them. Sometimes it's unavoidable, though. If you have a story critical mission, you're going to do it, and you're just going to have to deal with it. So there we go. That is an overview of the thought process of picking schemes in the early to mid game in Evil Genius 2. I hope this video helped you guys out. If it did, leave a like and subscribe. I'm going to be doing a ton more videos on Evil Genius 2. Thank you guys for watching. Have a good one and dominate the world.